What's up, y'all? It's TTC, aka the ThunderConductor, and we back here for another YouTube video and Twitch stream. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And if you're on Twitch, make sure you follow and ring the bell. We do this once a week on YouTube and every other week on Twitch. I got a question for y'all. What was your favorite color pair in cEDH pre-ban, and has it changed post-ban? I know for me, my roots are heavily in red. So I started off from mono red, play a little bit of Esper, but I just was hungry for that speed again and found myself going back to Jeskai. Like, that's not fully mono red, but I love the control and the speed that you get from I have red for speed, control with blue and white, and all the card advantage blue and white also offers. However, post-ban, unfortunately, I decided that I'm going to go back to Esper. The format's just a tear bit slower, and I believe I can make the deck both a little bit more aggressive, me playing MARNEUS CALGAR, to find that good sweep spot. This is my Esper list I'll be playing tonight, and if you haven't already, I just did a deck tech not too long ago where I talked about my post-ban updates, and I have to talk about it again very quickly because I ain't going to cap with you, dog. I've been brewing my ass off. My notable changes for the list were few but very substantial. Starting off, we've already talked about taking Trickbind out for Lion's Eye Diamond and Trutch the Spill Realm out for REX Salvagers. We want to get more off the control plan and more into the mid-range plan. We know that Esper can be fast, but not fast enough when I'm not running Ad Nauseam or Necro or any of those spells to be super fast at explosive out anywhere because of my playstyle. So I want to add in more combos, more ways to make infinite mana, colored mana namely, quickly to get the job done. So I said, Touch, you're out. Trickbind, you're out. I love those cards, but I gotta let them go. Next thing is I was very bullish on silence effects, and because I can't run Flamescrow Celebrant like Zergo runs in here that's red and white, I decided to add an Orange Chant over Delay. I love that as a single player silence effect because there are a lot of pots where it's only 2 blue players and maybe 2 more off the beaten path decks. You can silence that blue player through their heuristic study their fish, you shut them off completely and you go for the win. Also, the kicker ability is phenomenal. I feel very bullish about Kiki Jiki and other lines that people are going to be expecting to be playing now that they lost dockside lines. So being able to say, all right, at the beginning of your combat, I'm going to Orange Chant and kicker this so you can't attack at all. Notably, we may see it this game, there are a lot of great combo decks that combat decks that leverage the combat steps. So if you know that, oh shit, I can't keep up with this Zergo Ojutai with Audon Soldier, let me go ahead and just kicker this Orange Chant in response to you trying to move to attackers, so then you can't attack this turn and I can just buy one more turn to get the job done. The next change we took out is we want to pick up the speed just a hair. And so we went ahead and took Spire of Industry out and added in City of Traders. Originally, I didn't want this in the list because I wanted to, I was more of a control stacks list, so I wanted my mana to stay. However, with the explosivity where we lost with Mana Crypt, I wanted to add more soul lands, and we're already running Ancient Tomb, and I was just like, let me go ahead and just support the fact that I have Grim Monolith and all these talismans and Arcane Signet and the Felwar Stone. Like, I want to be able to get these down explosively fast so I can present those turn 3 to 5 wins, sometimes turn 2 wins that are possible with City of Traders. And even late game, it's great because we'll get to some more win cons that we've added that are a little bit more expensive but super rewarding. All right, now the next one is we took Dranith out, and I thought I'd be adding it back in, but I've actually been winning a lot without it. We added in for Transmute Artifact because honestly, a lot of, or not all of our win cons have an artifact that are part of it. Like if we look at our infinite mana and mass draw engines, LED is an artifact for our Bomberman combo. For our Lyra's Displacerkin, Lotus Petal, Lion's Eye Diamond. Both are artifacts. For Teferi Kitten, this you have to have an artifact on board that's net positive or free. For Isokon Scepter Dramatic Reversal, Isokon's an artifact. There's so many of our ways to make infinite mana to sink into Marneus to draw our library that it just became like almost a necessity to say, I need to be able to put artifacts onto the field. And as we talked about just recently in our deck tech, because this is an artifact tutor that has a bit of a pot effect, but doesn't make us have to commit the mana for the mana difference. So if you're not familiar with it, you basically cast Transmute Artifact. If it resolves, you sacrifice an artifact, and say if you sacrifice a 1-drop, if you're looking for a 3-drop, you have to pay that additional 2 colorless as the spell is resolving. So it's just, it sometimes could be a little expensive, but when you can just sack a talisman for, we'll see, we recently added in Time Sieve, you know what I'm saying? It's really easy just to say 2 blue and get whatever you want. All right. Next one is we took out Mists of Lorien for Into the Flood Maw. We originally were running 2 board wipes. Now we're just down to 1 with just running Cyclonic Rift. I wanted more 1-mana instant speed interaction, and Into the Flood Maw gets the job done excellently. Next one was I know I said I was adding in more win cons, but this was something that just didn't feel amazing. Okay. I took out Hullbreaker Ore, and I know everybody said, TTC, you say you want to make infinite mana. TTC, this is such a great win con because it can bounce things off the stack. It's so resilient. TTC, why are you taking it out? Yes, I get it. Hullbreaker Ore is amazing, and I loved it for a long time. However, ever since we lost namely Dockside Extortionist and Mana Crypt, and sometimes J-Lo, because it can be used to help loop, like J-Lo and Mana Crypt can make infinite mana because it's just a 0-drop that you can help bounce the Mana Vault to loop it. These cards were huge. You know, Dockside, we can use a clone to loop with Hullbreaker Ore. Mana Crypt allows you to loop with just your talismans, your Arcane Signet, your Felwar Stone. And so after just playing the list post-ban, it was just like, I have less ways to push Hullbreaker Ore out, and I have less ways to loop post Hullbreaker Ore. That means Mana Vault becomes my main piece to be able to loop with my talismans, or I have and it's just so it's tough. And then biggest thing also for this deck, because I don't play super commander centric, I need infinite colored mana, you know, and so I can loop Mana Vault and a talisman to make a couple pips of color and not kill myself with the talisman activations. But it just puts me in this awkward spot of just like, dude, this just feels wrong. It feels wrong, and it didn't fit post-ban, and it's sorry to let it go, but it really allowed for like new space for new beginnings. So what I ended up doing is, first I was putting Walkable. So let's just put in a new finisher. I liked it. It works well with RX Salvagers and LED, because if you discard it, you can just pick it back up after making infinite mana to put into there. I was like, maybe I just add in the Walking Ballista and Heliod combo. Maybe. I was like, nah, let's go a different direction. Next thing I did, I tried a Nexus of Fate, and I loved it because Nexus of Fate allows me to go, okay, I make infinite, I start these warriors with MARNEUS CALGAR by putting infinite activations on the stack, bouncing my Marnie so I don't draw my library, and then I just make the infinite treasure tokens, and then Nexus of Fate, not to mention this is instant speed. I'm already on Mystical Tutor and Isochron Scepter, so there's also that combo with Nexus of Fate, Mystical Tutor, and Isochron Scepter to take infinite turns. And so I'm like, this is great, I'm gonna do it. But then I was like, I'm in the right direction, but I think I have the wrong card. I ended up taking Nexus of Fate out for Time Sieve, and I ended up taking Talion out for Tivit Seller of Secrets. Now this is like fucking awesome. Like, I've been looking at Tivit and Time Sieve as this combo to include in this list for the last, I think, 6+ months. But when I was playing more control stacks, it didn't fit because I never I wanted more to, I was worried about slowing down the table than progressing my own win state, my own board state, and trying to win the game. But now that I flipped that, I've now added another combo that combos without the commander. Time Sieve combos with the commander, because once you draw your deck, you can then just play a couple artifacts, make the infinite starties, and then Time Sieve, take an extra turn and win right there. And lastly, Tivit has massive synergy with the commander Marneus Calgar, because, as you know, Tivit Seller of Secrets says, whenever it enters the battlefield or deals combat damage to a player, starting with you, each player votes for evidence or bribery. For each evidence vote, investigate or bribe. For each evidence vote, investigate, and for each bribery vote, create a treasure token. So what this says in treasure tokens, they just come down. So if we vote 5, if the 5 votes are done where I vote twice, my opponents each vote once, I basically go, all right, we make 5 treasures. That's only 1 Marneus trigger. But say if I go, I'm going to make a treasure and a clue, and my opponent said, oh, we want to cuck him on mana, let's give him 3 clues. That's fine. Because it says doesn't say create a clue, it says investigate. each investigate trigger goes in the sack separately. So then that is 5 triggers. So I make a treasure, that's one Marnie's trigger. And then each investigate trigger makes 4 more Marnie's triggers. So then off that, I can make 5, I get 5 draws of Marnie's on board. And you say, that's ridiculous, TDC, that's 11 mana total. But I can literally just curve out and go, all right, I'll cast Tivit. Next turn, cast Marnie's, go to combat, swing with Tivit. I will give myself 2 treasures. And I put them in this conundrum, like either they give me the clues so I don't have a bunch of mana to help me combo off, or on the flip side, they say, we'll give them the clues, but then I have extra card draw to help support when I try to go for the Tivit Time Seed Kafo or whatever else I go. So it just puts the table in the conundrum. And the fact that this has War 3 as well, I don't care if you remove the Marnies. I don't care, because I'm trying to win Tivit Time Seed. It's a win-win. I'm already not super commander-centric. So love this combo. I've already won and put multiple win attempts with this combo on my list. I've only been working with it for about a week or so. So far, big thumbs up for me. I actually have to give big shout outs to the guy who inspired me for this. I think this is his list right here. Primal Shift. He was the first one that ever put me onto this. So if you're watching Primal Shift, please understand, since our conversation, I didn't forget about you. You're awesome. We had a really great discussion about it. It was me, him, and one of his boys. We just swapping Marnie's text. So awesome pilot, awesome dude, and great list. If you're looking, check him out as well. Primal Shift. He has a Marnie's list he brews as well. My last switch outs though was we took Mana Drain out. We wanted to take out a lot of 2 mana interactions, similar we did like Trick Bind and Touch and Spill Realm. Wanted to add in more free stuff, so I tried Misdirection first. The fact that it didn't touch abilities kind of just, it didn't feel right, and so I ended up adding Subtlety, and that bitch has been fitting like a glove. I talked about it in the deck tech. This card is fantastic because it always has a minimum of 3 targets, up to 6, depending on whether you're playing against partners, commanders, and it just hits bombs, hits Thassa's Oracles, Consecrate Sphinx. It just hits bombs, and notably, it also hits the Teferi, which part of the Teferi kin combo. A lot of times it's harder to interact with because a lot of our counter spells are instants and sorceries. So being able to say, all right, I can bounce your Teferi, try again next turn, can give you that 1 turn that you need to turn the corner and then win the game right afterwards. Plus, the fact that it's a creature makes it a lot harder to interact with. So unless they have a way to turn off ETBs, which we're not seeing as much since Dockside got banned, this is a really hard way to interact because you force them to use their Pact, Force of Will, or Mind Break Trap. So big thumbs up for me. If you're looking for more ways to support the show, we have a plethora. Starting off my Thunder Legion, I gotta say big shout outs to our Mono Red patrons. Wavy Ashira, Bissy Baxton, The Praetor, B-Rad, and Sir Trekkie. These guys are awesome and they keep the lights on the way that you cannot imagine. They get amazing perks like playing on our live streams, which you will just see today, and also shouts on our streams and videos. And at the higher tiers, you can also get free proxies and discount codes. Please also check out the ThunderConductor Community. It's free to join. It's on Discord. We do our thing, jam games, talk brewing, talk about our favorite gameplay experiences. It's all fun. But if none of that tickles your fancy, you just say, AT, I don't care about the proxies, the Patreon, the perks. I just want to say one time for the fun time, I love what you do and I want to support you. Don't worry. Check the link out in the bio. You can buy me a coffee. It keeps me up and keeps the lights on. But with that being said, and when it comes to major things that like has been changed since the last time we talked, we've talked about taking Gravedigger's Cage out for Lurrus, and I wanted to have the Lurrus Displacer Kitten combo with like it was Lion's Eye Diamonds or Lotus Petal to make infinite mana. However, Lurrus, it just felt like a lot of mana. It felt really clunky, and because it was a combo piece, I never really wanted to commit everything to like putting Lurrus down as just a value piece because I knew I could always combo with them. So I just let Lurrus go and I decided to put in Savine's Reclamation. Why exactly? The biggest reason is because there's been times where I either have to discard my Teferi Time Raveler, whoop, 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 to the graveyard, or it's just some other 3 or below creature or something that had went to the graveyard. I want to bring it back. And the fact that I can get 2 casts off with this, with the original cast or with the flashback to bring back 2 things, is really great. And I just love it. You know what I'm saying? So far it's been great. I haven't really need to use it too crazy, but even it being like a backup way to like get Time Sieve out to retry that combo is really awesome. So love that. When it comes to Born Upon the Wind, I'm still playing Angel's Grace over Born Upon the Wind, but I haven't given up on the approach of wanting to go instant speed. So before I get into that, I recently took out Chain of Vapor, originally for Pongify because I wanted more creature hard removal. But then eventually I saw this amazing post on Twitter and also my homeboys hit me up. They say, hey, bro, if you're not playing Amphibian Downpour, you're doing something wrong. And so right now I'm playtesting Amphibian Downpour. Chain of Vapor was something I was already kind of hesitant on. I don't want someone to sack a land and bounce my Smothering Tithe or my Marneus or whatever not. So I was like, all right, let me just take Chain of Vapor out and see how Amphibian Downpour plays. And so we're going to be getting some fresh new gameplay. I haven't actually experienced it in a real game, so hopefully we get to see it tonight. And last but not least, with the potential of Amphibian Downpour being those storm tokens that you do control, we're seeing a lot of draws with Marneus. And that means I had to embrace, there has to be a way for me to like just go and win on top of the stack with all these new draws at instant speed. So with that, I took Exotic Orchard out and put Emergent Zone back in. We're not, if you can see our land base, we're not running a crazy amount of colorless lands. Right now, we're just on the Ancient Tomb, the City of Traders, the E-Zone itself, the Gemstone Caverns, and last but not least, the Urza Saga. So there's only really 5 colorless lands. So it's like, it's not really the end of the world. Our mana base is still really tight, it's really solid. And if you even check our color distribution, we're actually still doing very good. I'm not going to cap, like, right now, we got 36% of white mana production to 23% of all our symbols, 46% white blue mana production for 41% of our symbols, and 36% black mana production to 23% of our symbols. So we're actually doing really, really good with that. And so I've gotten some, did some gold fishing, and thus far it felt really great. I've already really do feel confident about this change, and I just, in general, just being able to win at instant speed is something that my heart desires because I just want to be able to do it. And so the biggest hurdle that I'm seeing is because I'm not in green, I could see the potential of it being kind of tough. Like, hey, I don't run crop rotation, so how do I actually win like at instant speed? And so that thing of having the setup of I have to play Emergent Zone and pass turning, it's going to be kind of telegraphed, but just being able to win at all at instant speed is really a utility that I'm really looking forward to do. But with that said, if you're looking for more ways to support the show, we have a plethora. Starting off with our ThunderConductor merch. It's the softest, smoothest merch. It's actually, I felt myself falling asleep during that counter war because this sweater is so small. Soft. We also do have our ThunderConductor community. Come out, jam games, brew, have a good time. Check out the spoilers and just talk about your amazing game experiences. But you want extra perks like playing our live streams, shout outs on our streams and videos, and free proxies and discount codes. Please check out the Thunder Legion Discord Patreon community. They are awesome. They have amazing cats like Wavy Ashira, White Serpent, B-Rad, Sir Trekkie, and Bissy Baxter. These are all amazing guys that just make all this possible. And last but not least, if you say, AT, I don't want the Patreon, the proxies, the perks, any of that stuff, I just want to say one time for the fun time that I love what you do and I want to support you. Don't worry, I got you. Check the link out in the bio. You can buy me a coffee. It keeps me up and keeps the lights on. But with that said, thank you all for joining me with this amazing gameplay, and y'all be easy. Peace.